Hello, be welcome to one more video in this channel about Brazil. In this video, you will understand deeply how the political system works in few minutes, okay? We know the information about Brazil is very limited. The foreigners doesn't know about it a lot, okay? And I'm a native, and I will give you a better understanding of how it works here, okay? Uh, and if you have any Brazilian friend, he will be impressed with your knowledge. Let me say like this. So let's go. About political system. First of all, you will have to understand that Brazilian political system is very different from the USA. Let me say political system. That's why we are so poor here. That's the main reason. As I say here in other videos, explain the reasons. But here we have an extremely centralized power here in the capital. Okay, the capital here is Brasilia. Okay, is at the center-east region of Brazil. It's a very isolated capital that was built to, let me say, the politicals hidden from the population. Okay, so they can do the corruption schemes and well, people today know a lot better than in past times, but that's a problem. In the old times, the capital in Brazil was in Rio de Janeiro. Okay, so if a politician do something wrong, they would be caught by the population because Rio de Janeiro is more accessible. You understand, okay? Brazil is very far away, is very isolated, so this is the first problem we have here in Brazil, okay? So the power is very concentrated there. So Brasilia is one of the richest states, richest cities in Brazil, because there is a lot of money coming from all Brazil going towards there and being in the hands of a lot of politicians and a lot of employees of these politicians in Brasilia. So we have a lot of richness in that city only because of this influx of capital going there forever. So the main elections that really matters in Brazil are the federal elections. The elections for the councilmen and women, the elections for senators, and elections for the president. All they are in Brasilia, okay? The state elections are not so important, and in the end of the day, all states are begging for money in Brasilia. They are going to Brasilia, the councilmen and women of the states, of the cities are going to Brasilia to beg for money. Please give me money, please give me money. And in Brasilia, they do like, I give money if you do me some favor in exchange, okay? So is this forever exchange of favors, and this is one very big problem that makes the corruption be very high in Brazil, because the money is all focused, is all concentrated. We doesn't really have a distribution of the money in the states, okay? And whatever, okay? So we have over 500 councilwomen and councilmen that are elected at each 4 years. Federal councilwomen and men, okay? And each 4 years we have the president elections, okay? And each 8 years we have the elections for the senators, okay? The president here in Brazil doesn't have a lot of power, okay? Yes, he has some power, but it's not the main political power we have here. We have the Supreme Court here that has a lot of power. I could say more power than the president. The Supreme Court here is, I don't know except the number of judges we have, but they should be only judges. But they are not only this, they are like, nowadays they are like presidents. They just do legislation, they do laws, they just do whatever they want, and that's it. okay? It's not so balanced like this, okay? The Supreme Court, for some reason, is really, really powerful here. They are not only judges. And who makes the laws are the senators, okay? And these laws have to be approved by the councilmen and women that are these 500 people that we have that are elected at each 4 years, okay? This is some kind of good. We have not so much power concentrated in the president because the senators and the councilmen and women are elected by the people, okay? So let me say, like, the legislation is made by what the general people think about, okay? If we have a lefty mind thinking of the population, they tend to elect a lot of leftists, let me say like this, councilmen, and they will make like leftist laws, and they will be against the entrepreneurship, they will raise taxes, okay? But in the end of the day, the power here, the main force here is always to raise the taxes, because here in Brazil we have this kind of oligarchy. The politics here are not like serving the people. They are kind of oligarchies that rules the country for centuries, and people works each year more and more to sustain this oligarchy. And we have never had a really like free market and pro-entrepreneurship government, okay? Last year we had Bolsonaro. That was the first attempt of having a right government, but not really right, because he used it to be a politician forever. So it was not an ideal right-minded politician, but it was what we had. And for over the history, always had this kind of leftist-minded and raising the taxes and raising the bureaucracy, okay, and things like this. And the laws here are really decided there in Brasilia, in the central power, and are the same laws for all the country, okay? So everything is decided in Brasilia, basically. We have some state and city laws, okay, but are very weak. The main laws are decided there, okay? So the politics here in Brazil are one of the main reasons how the system works, that Brazil is a poor country, okay? We must have a lot of changes, big profound changes. If I was president, the first thing I would do was break down the centralization of the power and decentralize the power and giving power to the states, and just distributing and doing something very similar to the United States when you have decentralized laws and things like this. I think this creates competitions between the states, and it's very healthy, and makes the possibility, let me say, if you are unsatisfied with your state, you can move to other state with the laws, and the entrepreneurship is better and is more rich, and you can go there, and you have more freedom of choice. Here in Brazil doesn't have this freedom, and I think this is one of the biggest problems here in Brazil that prevents this country from growing up. Okay, so if you want more videos about politics, you can ask me in the comments. I will record more, okay? It's not a complete, I wouldn't talk about everything in a single video, okay? And that's it. Thank you for watching, and see you.